following is a Learfield presentation of the Washington State Sports Network. This is the Cougar Basketball Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zappos, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. Now, live from Zappos, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Good evening and welcome into Zappos for the Cougar Basketball Hour. Another week, another jam-packed show that we have talking about what happened last week. How about that sweep for the Cougar basketball team? Going on the road and beating San Diego, then a 22-point victory at home over Portland, and then a big week, a couple of tough challenges, but some opportunities, major opportunities coming up on the road against Santa Clara Thursday, and then at home Saturday against St. Mary's. St. Mary's right now the only undefeated team in conference play, but they'll have to come to Beasley on Saturday. That's going to be a lot of fun. 5 o'clock tip-off on Saturday. Our guest tonight, well, we not only have the head coach of the Cougs here, David Riley, we have Pedro Garcia Rosado, assistant coach, and Andy Okafor joining us. Pack show coach, here we are. It's chilly outside. Without the snow, it still feels like a winter out there, but that means it's hoop season, and we're in the thick of conference play.
Absolutely. I mean, we were on a Zoom yesterday with the recruit, and I showed him out the window. I said, it's nice weather out here, so we're trying.
That is really. I was telling my wife that if you look out the window, I mean, it could be spring, it could be summer. It has been great out there. Well, let's start by taking a look back on this last week. The team was down in San Diego on Thursday, 65-61, the victory over the Toreros. Maybe not the full 40 minutes that you were hoping for, but the team came through down the stretch and got away with the road victory in conference play, and that's not something to overlook. Road conference victories, that is a good day when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, road wins are tough to get, especially in conference. I'd like to make it a little easier when we're up 18-2 to finish it out a little stronger, but I think it just kind of shows that we were at that point where we needed to get some chemistry going. We had to get things clicking a little bit more, and I thought by the end of the game we did, and it kind of carried over and built towards Saturday.
This is going to be a theme in our conversation of recapping last week, but Nate Calmes had himself quite the performance. He tied his season high with 27 points, 22 of those coming in the second half. Can it be overstated how vital what he did down in San Diego on Thursday was to getting that victory?
Yeah, I thought we were really struggling to get rhythm offensively, and he found ways to get in the paint that second half, and I think we were doing a better job with some spacing stuff and a little better job not turning the ball over, but he really took it in his own hands, and I thought just kind of showed us his competitive level and found a way to win.
Like the game at the University of Portland last Thursday against San Diego, there were more Coug fans in the building for that road game than there were fans cheering on the home team for the University of San Diego. How much do you appreciate when you're able to look around for a road conference game and see that much crimson and gray in the stands?
It's awesome. The Coug Nation was out there. We had a special guest there. Hugh Campbell was out there. My dad's former college. Well, he recruited my dad in college. He didn't actually get to coach him. He left for the CFL afterwards. But it was cool to hear some of his stories. He's one of the best receivers in Washington State history. And we had a couple of other alumni. Jim Nielsen came out. He played in the early '60s, and he talked to our team the night before the game. And just the amount of passion and the Coug alum everywhere was pretty cool to see every game.
Well, that's a couple of neat names to hear there, and I know I got to see you talk to Hugh Campbell after, and that is, Hugh Campbell, a Cougar Hall of Famer, just an outstanding former football player, and that's neat to hear your family ties with it too. So that's it's pretty cool that it goes back, and not only the Coug ties but the family ties go hand in hand.
For sure, he was the first person that hired my uncle at Whitworth. And then obviously recruited my dad there as well, and he was a heck of a coach. I think he may have spent some time with my grandpa in the CFL as well.
I know, yeah. I know for Hugh Campbell had a ton of success in the CFL. What a career! Looking at him too, he still looks like whatever sport he would want to try his hand at. He would do awfully well at. He looks great.
I mean, it's tough not to when you live. I think he lives in Priest Lake in the summers and in San Diego in the winters, so he's got a nice little setup.
Well, there you go. And now, for this year and next year for hoops and moving forward with the Pac-12 with San Diego State, hopefully it will be an annual thing where we get to see Hugh Campbell out there, whether it's December, January, February, March, cheering on the Cougs for a road game.
I like it, yeah.
Well, that takes us to the team getting the victory Thursday over San Diego, and in the home game Saturday against Portland, a 92-70 win over the Pilots. Despite being down at 9 at a couple different points in the first half, how was the team able to get a 22-point, very convincing victory?
I thought we started, even the first part of the game, I think we did some good things offensively, and we built good rhythm. We missed a couple shots. I think defensively they were doing some things that bothered us a little bit. We shorted it up. They were hitting some tough shots, some tough shots. But really, when it's those games where they're a little sticky and we're not really getting that momentum, you got to have guys make hustle plays. And I think when you look back at that first half, ND Okafor and Case Wynot really stepped up and changed the game and the dynamic of the game. And then we started hitting some shots. We started getting some more stops. But those offensive rebounds they got and some loose balls they dug out on defense was kind of the turning point.
It was so big to see what those guys did in that spot and really kickstarted things for the Cougs. And that game against Portland means the Cougs got the regular season sweep over Portland. And here we are just 7 games into conference play, but already a regular season sweep. And, they've seen the Cougs once too, so they get a chance to make adjustments. Seemed like they played smaller in that game than the first matchup.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are going to start doing some different stuff against us because the way we shoot it, and they made some adjustments. And I think that's the fun part about league play is you get to see a few different looks and teams really start scheming against you.
When that final stat sheet hits your hands, just 10 turnovers for the Cougs. How good did that feel when you look down on the stat sheet under that column and see that number?
No, I think it's a huge step for us. Like our ball security has not been good enough this season, and so I think that was a step in the right direction. And we didn't make any home run plays. We were making simple plays offensively. And when you look at the box score as well, it's hot. Like you can go down the line. Like everyone had a pretty good game. I mean, a couple guys missed shots here or there, but like everyone got good looks. Everyone got shot at. Everyone gets to eat when we play like that. And I think that's kind of a good lesson for our team.
Those clutch offensive rebounds, something you touch on, but also just seemed like dominating the paint. Plus 30 in the paint. How great was it to just be able to flex the muscle of the wide array of skill sets and the diversity, and the Cougs were able to take advantage and really make hay near the basket.
Yeah, I think it's just a mindset. Like we knew that we had to up the physicality about 5 minutes into the game. We did that. And we showed film yesterday of just guys hitting people. Like ND was posting up a few times and knocking guys around, and Case and all of our big guys at different times had some really good clips where they were just showing that physicality and playing Washington State basketball.
We need to mention Nate again. So Nate Calmes had 27 against San Diego. What does he do against Portland? 20 points, but maybe even more impressive, 8 assists and only 1 turnover. That made him the first Cougar player going back-to-back games with 20 or more points since C.J. Ellaby. So in really good company there. Ended up being a crowded field for the WCC Player of the Week. Gonzaga falling twice. There were some good performances. He didn't get it. But any other week, he would have been right up there at the tippy top, at least in my point of view.
Yeah, he put together a heck of a week and got 2 wins. And for us, what matters is finding ways to get in that win column. And I think those accolades will come for us later this season.
And I know it's one game at a time, 1 week at a time. But anytime you get a sweep, especially when there's a road game in it, do you kind of take a breath when Saturday's all wrapped up and say, okay, that was a good stretch there that we just put together?
Yeah, I mean, you got to reevaluate every week, and I think we did a good job. Is obviously winning games. Like we're all evaluated on the wins and losses, but I think it's such a long season. You got to focus on getting better, and I thought we did that last week. There was a lot of uncomfortable conversations that the week before that when you lose 2 games, and I think it takes some time to grow, and I think our guys embrace that, and we just got to keep that moving forward.
Cougs 5-2 in conference play, already 15 wins this season. Here we are with the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley. The Cougar Basketball Hour going to roll on after this timeout. Still to come tonight, our guest Pedro Garcia Rosado, assistant coach. ND Okafor will stop by as well, but we'll have more with the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley, after this break. You are tuned in live from Zeppos to the Cougar Basketball Hour from Learfield.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
You're listening to Cougar Basketball on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
If you've been having your McDonald's sausage McMuffin with an iced coffee from somewhere else, now is a great time to reconsider.
In the Pacific Northwest, it's never too cold for an iced coffee in the morning. Grab yourself a medium caramel, French vanilla, or classic iced coffee for just $2.29. Warning, beverage may cause craving for McMuffin or hash browns. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
So we've always wanted a Cadillac Escalade.
But they're out of our price range.
So I started a podcast for my side hustle. You know, all the kids are doing it.
Honey, you've got 7 likes.
All right. Hey, I'm still learning how to algorithm.
And that's not a verb.
Oh.
There's an easier way to score an Escalade. It's Northern Quest's $165,000 Cadillac Countdown. Play daily to enter. Grand prize drawing January 25th. Details at northernquest.com.
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Up and under, off the glass, had to get the little spin on it, and he banks it in. 90 points for the Cougs. They're back up by 17.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Once again, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Back at Zeppo's on the Cougar Basketball Hour. And a reminder, Cougar Nation, each time you bring your Toyota vehicle to be serviced at a local and participating Toyota dealership, you can receive a premium Washington State giveaway item as a member of the Toyota Rewards Program. To join the program, visit WSUCougars.com/Toyota Rewards. Back here at Zeppo's with the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley. And, Coach, we've got our guests here tonight and excited to talk to Pedro Garcia Rosado, assistant coach, and Andy Okafor. And both of those guys have had quite the journeys to get here to the Palouse. Can you tell us, let's start with Pedro, a member of your coaching staff. What does he bring to the program?
Pedro's got his hand in a lot of different pots in the program, and he's been with me since I started as a head coach. I met him maybe 5-6 years ago. I was over in Spain with my wife we were on vacation, but there happened to be a basketball tournament. So
How convenient.
I happened to go over there and spend a few hours, and I got to meet Pedro over there during COVID. He was coaching in Iceland. We got shut down for someone got COVID, so we got shut down. We couldn't practice. I was bored out of my mind at the house, so I had him send me his practice film of what they were doing. And then a couple weeks later, same thing happened to him. And so we started just kind of watching each other's film and talking basketball a lot. And when I got this opportunity at Eastern, he was able to come over, and we've been coaching together ever since. And he's been doing a great job. He runs the offense in our program, a lot of the player development stuff, and just a really good basketball mind.
I feel like when there's maybe a high-tension moment or something's going on, I see him, he has your ear. Is he kind of the David Riley whisperer a little bit in those kind of in the heat of the moment times?
Pedro's he's always got plan A, B, C, and D. And I think that's what you look for in a coach is you want to have an idea what we can do, and it's been great. And for sure, he's up in my ear. He's always got a few things up his sleeve. But yeah, I think it's been good so far.
Andy Okafor originally started out at Cal in his first year at WSU, and we've seen the impact that he has made. How would you describe what he brings not only to the team on the court, but off the court as well?
Man, he's been really fun to get to know and just see him kind of open up this season. This summer he got in, he was a little quieter, but now he's done a great job. And you're starting to see it on the floor. He's getting more comfortable in what we do and playing really good basketball. And he's another story like. It's funny how relationships will help you in this business. I had a former player of mine that played with ND I think he may have been on the same team as ND for about 4 weeks. But when I got the job at Washington State, he gave me a call and filled me in on kind of who ND was as a person and, how good he was. And I remembered him from a few years back. Me and Pedro had actually gone to see him in, I think it was in Italy or something like that. So I'd seen him play. I knew who he was. But then one of my former players called me, and it all kind of happened pretty quick.
Speaking of connections, you mentioned before Iceland how Pedro was coaching there. I think of Tomas Thrasserson, true freshman. He's now in the starting lineup for the Cougs. He has really done a remarkable job in the role he's been thrusted into as a true freshman. But you said something in one of our post-game interviews this week about how his family is in town from Iceland. What's it been like hosting his family and showing them? You could tell me if I'm wrong, but were they on his recruiting trip? Is this their first time here? If it's not their first time here, I can't imagine they've spent a ton of time on the Palouse.
His parents came on his recruiting trip back in the spring, and that's tough. You get 48 hours in Pullman, and you get a little taste of it. But it was cool to have him here the last week. His sister got to come as well. Their family's a little bit like Thomas. They're quieter, but I think they really had a good time. They got to see Pullman, got to see how he's living. And I think they appreciate just how happy he is. You can see him starting to open up with his teammates and. I think it was a good for him to see all that.
Cold doesn't bother him, does it? Winter here on the Palouse probably doesn't faze him in the slightest.
Not at all. That's our team celebration when Thomas does anything. They do the Icelandic shiver.
Well, now we'll have to keep our eye out to see that coming up. Well, we'll let you loose for a little bit, and we'll have you back on a little later, Coach. But what we're going to remind folks tonight, we have a giveaway here from Zeppos. Zeppos does a fantastic job of our host of the Cougar Basketball Hour, not only with David Riley, but with Cami Etheridge. We're here throughout the fall for the Cougar Football Hour. We're so appreciative of Zeppos, and they've got a certificate that we're going to be giving away to the audience tonight. And not only can you come here, get outstanding food, join us for all of our coaches' shows, but so much fun that can be had here at Zeppos. So the certificate is good for up to 10 people on 2 lanes for 2 hours of bowling with shoes, 2 pizzas, and 10 bottomless cups for soda. So it's always good to be here, but extra good to be here tonight as we'll be able to give this away a little bit later on. So, Coach, you can go enjoy some of that food, and we'll chat with you a little bit later.
All right, go Cougs.
Again, that is David Riley, the head coach of the Cougs, joining us here on the Cougar Basketball Hour. When we come back, we will have Pedro Garcia Rosado, assistant coach, and then Andy Okafor, player for the Vandals, or I should say player for the Cougs, first-year Coug here. As, at some point that was going to happen, so here we are. We got that one out of the way. First-year player, former Cal Bear, happy to be a Coug. We'll have more from Zeppos after this break. You're listening to the Cougar Basketball Hour from Learfield.
Spokane International Airport is a proud sponsor of Washington State University Athletics. The airport connects Cougar fans and alums with over 60 daily departures to more than 20 nonstop destinations provided by 7 major airlines, as well as one-stop connections to most major metropolitan centers throughout the U.S. Real-time arrival and flight departure information is available at SpokaneAirports.net. Spokane International Airport, when it's time to fly.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you. Because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. From the versatile RAV4 to the Svelte Crown, the sleek Camry all-wheel drive, the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive, the rugged Tacoma, the tenacious Tundra, and the spacious Grand Highlander with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe. Hey, you bring the action, we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
Hey, this is Craig Elo, and you're listening to Washington State Basketball. Go Cougs!
Hampton and Pullman is just a short drive from the WSU campus. They've got you covered for all your lodging and dining needs with the addition of their on-site bar and restaurant, Crimson Bar and Bites. You will feel right at home with their spacious rooms, famous Hampton waffles, cozy outdoor patios, Cougar gift shop, and the friendliest staff in town. Visit HamptonByHilton.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Coug owned and Coug managed. It matters where you stay. Hampton and Pullman. Hilton for the stay.
Are you interested in your company reaching Coug fans in and out of game day? As the multimedia rights holder for Washington State Athletics, Washington State Sports Properties helps companies and organizations connect themselves to Cougar Athletics in unique and exciting ways. From LED signs to pregame parties to the radio ad you're hearing right now, Washington State Sports Properties is helping companies both large and small get in front of Coug fans on a daily basis. Reach out to Washington State Sports Properties to learn more about what sponsoring the Cougs can look like for you.
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Behind the back dish, thrown out, Cougar is done. What a dunk that brings the fans to their feet here at Beasley.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Once again, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Back at Zeppo's on the Cougar Basketball Hour. A big thanks to one of our sponsors of this show, Northern Quest. Earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. And we're excited to welcome in assistant coach Pedro Garcia Rosado. Pedro, thanks so much for being here tonight. Welcome into the Cougar Basketball Hour.
Thank you.
How's life on the Palouse?
Amazing. I mean, right now we don't have enough time to enjoy out there, but we were able to be here since like April, May. So we've been able to go out there, some hiking, lakes. No, it's been fun.
Well, that's outstanding to hear. And for any member of the coaching staff, you're the furthest away from what is home for you. Can you kind of take us through your basketball journey, tell everyone where home is and how that path ultimately brought you here to Pullman?
So I'm from Spain, a city called Malaga. It is by the ocean. It's kind of like the San Diego of America. Malaga is the same in Spain. Beautiful weather, beautiful food. We are actually probably gonna take the team this summer to Malaga, so they're gonna be able. Yeah. So then after Malaga, I've been able to coach in different countries like England, Iceland. I've been coaching different levels. Yes, here we are.
And did the coaching bug bite you early? Did you know that's what you always wanted to do?
No, I mean, I started to coach when I was 16, very early. But, I was studying, I was going to the university, playing a little bit. It's like coaching a little bit more, and here you are.
And so you talk about the spots. So you're from Spain, coaching there, England, Iceland. Is it just, hey, I want to move up, I want the best opportunities to coach, and that's just kind of where it led you?
Exactly. I was coaching different levels, and different opportunities came up. That sometimes you cannot say no. That's the reason why I'm here. I cannot say no.
It is great having you here. So we kind of heard Coach Riley's point of view on how the two of you got connected. What was it like for you? Is it fun to make this connection with someone? And I know there's a lot of shared, just coaching beliefs, philosophies, style of play that you two get connected.
Such a natural connection. We were just talking about hoops, and we were exchanging the way we coach, film, the way we are working on advantage, disadvantage, different kind of drills. We start talking a little bit more about international recruitment, players, just different stuff that connected to us. Here we are.
So you have that friendship with him.
Yeah, we developed that relationship. We had a friend in common, actually, assistant coach who was at UC Washington, Book. He put us in contact when Coach Riley came to Spain on his honeymoon. And from there, we started talking a lot about basketball. And that's what put us together. We are obviously, we have similar mindset in terms of we work very hard. He loves to travel around the world, different culture, different food. So there are other stuff that obviously connect us. But the main one was obviously basketball. And we are good people. We care about each other. We care about the players. Yeah.
So you get that phone call from him. He becomes the head coach at Eastern. He says, "Hey, Pedro, what do you think about coming to join?" At that point, you've never coached in the U.S., correct?
Correct. I was head coach in Iceland.
And was that always on your radar to potentially move to the U.S., or what was running through your mind when that opportunity came up?
Basketball and the U.S. is a big thing, right? Basketball. If you love basketball, you need to come to the U.S. at some point, maybe just to watch an NBA game, right? So I never thought about, what do you need to get there? No. But when, the more that I found out about college basketball, I was like, well, that's actually what I love. I love developing players. I love to stay close to players. I love to win. X and O's. So this was actually what I love, like coaching in college basketball.
Well, it has been a great fit. And with that, your recruiting ties certainly can't hurt. And we look on the roster, we'll talk to Andy Okafor, there's Thomas Throsterson, there's a number of guys who are international players. What's it like when you're telling them about, hey, and you can probably speak to their families and, really relay of, hey, we're going to take care of your son. We know what it's like to be in a whole different country. How is that when it comes to bringing in those players from across the globe and having them become Cougs?
It is a fully different process that we do with one American player, because you have to talk with them about the culture. It's going to be a huge change in the life, food, weather, the way we practice, how to combine the academic side with basketball. It's a huge different deal, but as you said, now we have the experience, we have different players, and it's a little bit easier, and we are able to answer more questions. But yeah, it's not easy. As Coach Riley said, like, Thomas' family came to check out Pullman, but you only have 48 hours. You don't have enough taste, you don't know enough. You don't have enough information. You need to do a lot of Zooms, a lot of calls. They have to believe in you. They have to trust you at the end of the day. We try to travel to those countries to get to know them, to get to know us. Because just imagine just sending your kid to someone almost to get to from Iceland to here or from Ireland to here is almost 24 hours with flights. So it's far away. It's not like you get a flight 2 hours away, you are there. No, it takes time. So they definitely need to believe in you, trust you, and they do.
Well said. Ethan Price, Revavers, just a couple of names that we didn't mention. Yeah. So is that a pipeline that Coug fans can expect to keep flowing into the future?
For sure. That's a plan. We're going to find talent wherever they are. California, Seattle, Australia, wherever they are, we're going to go and try to find the talent. But for sure, we have to take advantage of myself. Coach Riley, he also traveled a lot to Europe. Even before he met me, he was already traveling to Europe. But for sure, we're going to see more international players coming over, for sure.
Well, when it comes to this season, the staff coming in here, only 2 returning players, only Isaiah, who saw action last year. And yet here we are looking at a really impressive record, the team 5-2 in conference play. This is a big week coming up. What runs through your mind when you think about going on the road to play Santa Clara, hosting St. Mary's, and just what this team can accomplish between now and heading into the WCC tournament?
We are never going to put excuse here. Well, zoo means win. So it doesn't matter how, we have to find the win, find the way to win. And this weekend is a big weekend. Santa Clara, this big Gonzaga. They are returning a lot of players from the last few years. St. Mary's, they haven't lost a game in the WCC yet. So 2 big games. I think we had a great practice today. That doesn't mean anything. We need to have another great practice tomorrow. And we're going to win. That's the plan.
I know there's a lot when it comes to being a college basketball coach, where I don't want to say tunnel vision, but I'm sure there's a lot of those days, especially in the off season when the staff was getting together and putting this team, all the pieces in place. But when it's not just home, work, all that, what's been your favorite part about being here in Pullman and being at WSU?
Go for a walk, have some food, try to get to know some people in the community. Yeah, that's been the main thing, and I'm fascinated about this Cougar Nation fans all over the world. Like I've been in an airport in Amsterdam, in Spain. Someone see me with the gear, go Cougs, like, and they're asking you questions. I'm like, what? This is real? Because people used to say that before I saw that. And, you're like, oh, yeah, sure, yeah. No, it's true. And then we played against Portland. We have more fans at Portland than them. Same thing at San Diego. And even when we played against UW, it was amazing. All our fans singing. It is unbelievable.
Well, you're getting me more fired up, and I think that's music to everyone's ears here at Zeppo's. That Cougar logo right there on your chest. I say "Go Cougs" goes across any language. It is crosses every border. "Go Cougs" is universal. Pedro, it's great having you here. Your enthusiasm is infectious. Thanks so much for the time, and just excited to see what you and the staff and all the players can do the rest of this season.
No, thank you for your time. Thank you for you all. Thank you for coming here, and go Cougs.
Again, that is assistant coach for the WSU basketball team, Pedro Garcia Rosado, joining us here on the Cougar Basketball Hour. We'll take a timeout a little bit later on. We'll be rejoined by the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley. But coming up next, we'll have Andy Okafor stopping by. That's all after this timeout. This is the Cougar Basketball Hour from Learfield.
You know what I could really go for right now? Literally anything that comes in a McDonald's carton, wrapper, or bag. Or a McDonald's cup. Yes, any of those items should do it.
Or Cougar fans, why not get them all? Order with the app and get a bacon double cheeseburger, 4-piece chicken McNuggets, small fries, and soft drink for only $7. Offer valid exclusively in the McDonald's app. Must opt into rewards at participating restaurants.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Around here, the community is everything. At Adams Tractor, our strength is in machinery, but our passion is in building relationships. For nearly a century, Adams Tractor has been supporting local nonprofits and organizations all across the Northwest, demonstrating our commitment to the regions we serve. We're more than just your go-to Kubota dealer. We're dedicated to making life easier. Adams Tractor, where passion meets Kubota strength.
This is Cougar Basketball from Learfield.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. The combined expertise of our university and our award-winning hospital are being deployed to provide greater access to resources, education, employment opportunities, and innovations to improve health care and health outcomes for all of us. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
This Cougar Moment is sponsored by Brown Family Vineyards. Brown Family honors the legacy of founder Andrew Brown's late grandfather, William Bittner Brown. Every decision made, from farm to glass, reflects their commitment to premium Northwest wine and spirits. Whether you're visiting one of Brown's tasting rooms or opening a bottle in your own home, Andrew and his wife Courtney welcome you to their extended family, where good friends, good food and wine, and good times are always on the agenda. Stop by one of our tasting rooms in Spokane, Walla Walla, Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma, or Portland, and get 20% off a glass this season when you mention WSU.
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Up and under, off the glass, had to get the little spin on it, and he banks it in. 90 points for the Cougs. They're back up by 17.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Once again, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Back at Zeppo's on the Cougar Basketball Hour. The team on the road coming up Thursday night against Santa Clara, then back at Beasley on Saturday against St. Mary's. Can't wait to see everyone at Beasley for that matchup with the Gales. Right now, St. Mary's undefeated in conference play. Going to be a big week coming up, but some major opportunities for the Cougs. Well, a reminder, the Junior Cougs Kids Club is presented by Toyota. It is the official kids club of the Washington State Cougars, and it is the best way for the youngest members of Cougar Nation to show off their Cougar pride. Find out more information about your Junior Cougs membership perks at wsucougars.com/JRCougs. And we're now excited to welcome in a member of the Cougar basketball team, Andy Okafor. Andy, thanks for being here. How are you doing tonight?
Good. I'm doing good. For sure. Yeah.
Year one as a Coug. You were at Cal originally, so you've been here as an opposing player. You're very familiar with WSU as an opposing player.
Yeah.
How's year one being part of the program here at WSU?
I've had a pretty eventful time over here. My teammates made the experience just way more comfortable and just, brought me in with open arms and stuff. So, yeah, I've had a great time. And I remember coming here at Cal and seeing, like, the fans and, like, the student section, they were harping on me and all stuff. So, yeah, they had great energy at Beasley. So, yeah.
It's more fun when they're on your side, right?
Yeah, for sure. Way more fun. Yeah, way more fun for sure.
I love it. So I'm assuming that was part of it, but you're looking for a new home this offseason. WSU's on your radar. You hear from Coach Riley and the staff. What ultimately kind of was the tipping point outside of those great fans at Beasley that you made you say, hey, this is where I want to be?
I feel like Coach Riley's approach, like recruiting me, it was just organic and just like it was like a genuine approach and everything. Like, so I was going through the portal, I was hearing from different type of coaches, and like it wasn't really a genuine approach. But the way Coach Riley approached me and everything, I really liked how he approached me and like how genuine he was and like what he did with his players in the past and like the history he had with international players and stuff. So I did all my research and stuff, and I ultimately landed me over here. So I think it was a great selection for me.
Well, we are thankful to have you here, and my favorite thing about being able to have these conversations is hearing about everyone's journey. And we just got to have that conversation with Pedro. But I know you've had quite the path in your life, in your basketball career. Can you kind of walk us through? And you correct me if I'm wrong. Where you were born, you weren't there for long, and then basketball has taken you to a number of stops. Can you kind of tell everyone just your life's journey that got you to this point?
Yeah, so I was born in Nigeria. Then my family migrated to Ireland when I was 1 year old. And then my sisters were born in Ireland. And so I was the only one in my family born in Nigeria, and everyone else was born in Ireland. So I stayed there until I was 1 to 16. Left home at 16 to play basketball. I went to Canada first, played there for a couple months. Didn't really work out. And then I went to Texas a couple months, and then my time at Texas was okay. Didn't really work out. Then I got the call from MBA Academy. I didn't really think it was a real thing. I was like, MBA Academy, what is that? I didn't know what that is. And they kept emailing me, so I checked it out, and I realized it was a good opportunity. So I took the opportunity. It was in Mexico. So, that whole experience was different, living in Mexico, coming from Europe and everything. It was a pretty humbling and good experience living in Mexico for 2 years. So took the opportunity, stayed my remainder of high school at Mexico, and then came to California, 2 years there, and now I'm at Fulman. Yeah.
That's remarkable. You've lived some life. I mean, you have had, life experiences, and just you've been around the world in 18 years, and then after that, my goodness, I'm curious. Let's talk Ireland, because that's where you spent the bulk of your childhood.
Yeah.
What's basketball like in Ireland?
Basketball is still growing in Ireland. Like when I was there, it was like very little, but now it's like everyone's playing basketball in Ireland right now. A lot of kids are coming to the U.S. from Ireland as well. So, it's just growing. It's still growing. I think basketball is still growing in Europe as a whole. So it's just getting bigger and bigger every single year. So it's still growing. It's strong in Ireland, but it's still growing for sure. It still has a lot of growth.
At what point did you pick up basketball? I mean, was it from when you were a young kid, or was it something a little bit later on?
So I was playing soccer first. Every kid in Europe is going to play soccer, So I was playing soccer first. I just kept growing and growing, and my friends were like, "Yo, you should try basketball." I was like, "Okay, I'll try basketball." I tried basketball my first year in high school in Ireland, and I just fell in love with it. I feel like I was a natural at it compared to soccer. So from there, I just played basketball. Just forgot about soccer and just played basketball. This was around 12. Yeah, when I was 12 years old.
And that has been a great decision. It has worked out awfully, awfully well for you. You mentioned the NBA Academy in Mexico. I imagine you're surrounded by a lot of great talent that you get to work with and grow from. How is that experience of being in that kind of environment?
Yeah, I mean, coming in as a young kid, I think that was a life-changing experience. It taught me a lot. It taught me to how living away from my family and like, you know, the everything they had, like they had everything when it comes to terms of equipment and everything. They had everything, you know. So I was like, what, 16, 17, like having all those resources was the great thing that could happen to me back then, because it helped me grow as a person physically and everything, and just meeting new people around the world. I met Mexicans, Venezuelans, Argentinians, Canadians. So it's just, you know, building connections with different people from in a different country, you know, it was a great experience as a kid for sure.
I'd imagine you had to mature pretty quick, because when you left home and you mentioned Canada and then down in Texas and then to Mexico and then to Berkeley and then here, I mean, that's time away from your family. Are your family, are they still back in Ireland?
Yeah, they're still back in Ireland and everything. My mom actually came to Pullman to visit in the summer, so she loved it. So, you know, my mom has visited me a couple times. She visited me when I was in California. So, yeah, I mean, being away from my family, I feel like I've gotten used to it. As a kid, 16, 15, you know, I got a little homesick and everything. But, you know, I got past that little hump, and, you know, I'm used to it now. It's not to me.
Is your family, I mean, I'm trying to think time zone-wise, are they either staying up or getting up early to watch you play, or is it a decent enough time that they're able to kind of be during the day and follow along?
My mom loves her sleep, so she'll watch the game after the next day, because, you know, the time zone's pretty long. The time zone's pretty long, so she just watches the games after they're done and everything, so, yeah.
That's very fair. And for you, we have seen just your physicality. It makes such an impact. And right now, you're second in the conference in blocks per game. How much pride do you take in being such an impactful rim protector?
I mean, I take great pride in just being a force around the rim and just blocking shots. You know, I think it just brings excitement to the game, and it brings excitement for me and my teammates. You know, I want to bring excitement in Beasley. You know, I want to give the fans something to, you know, come to the games and watch. You know, so just me taking that role as a shot blocker and a rim protector around the rim, for sure, I love it. It gives me excitement, and it motivates me every day to go hard. So, yeah.
Well, fewer things get the roar of the crowd quite like a great block shot. I will say that alley-oop lay-in that you had in that game Saturday was a heck of a play too. That got a big roar from the crowd. So that was fun to see as well. For you, I know it's, you know, focuses on basketball, and thankfully you've got more eligibility after this year. This isn't the end of the line for you, but when it comes to the classroom, what are you studying, and what are you thinking about what would be next after your time at WSU comes to an end?
Right now I'm studying ethnic studies, so I'm really interested in like history and, you know, stuff that happened in the past, wars and stuff like that happened. So that's what I'm studying right now, ethnic studies. Afterwards, you know, I want to go pro. I want to play professional basketball. I feel like any basketball player would want to say that. So, yeah, that's the plan.
Well, that's outstanding. We're excited for all the time you have remaining in a Cougar uniform. I know everyone will be rooting for you after that to have a lot more basketball in front of you. ND, it's been really neat seeing you in a Cougar uniform and having everyone here cheer you on. Thanks for being here tonight, and best of luck not only this week but the rest of the season.
Thank you, guys. Go.
Again, that is Andy Okafor joining us here at Zeppo's on the Cougar Basketball Hour. We will take another time out. When we return, we'll be rejoined once again by the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley. That's all after this. You're listening to the Cougar Basketball Hour from Learfield.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. You know, for your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
You're listening to Cougar Basketball on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
your home turf ready to play. With the game-changing performance of Steel. Enjoy big savings this fall on Steel handheld outdoor power equipment. Find yours at over 10,000 local Steel dealers. Steel is a proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars. Real Steel. Find yours.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Behind the back dish, thrown out, Cougar is done. What a dunk that brings the fans to their feet here at Beasley.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Once again, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Back on the Cougar Basketball Hour here at Zeppos, Washington State. 2 matchups this week. Thursday at Santa Clara, as we're rejoined by the head coach of the Cougs. The team at home Saturday against St. Mary's. And Coach, in my hands, how about this? Saturday is NBA 2K night. A giveaway of this poster. First 800 fans going to get one of these 2K posters. And it's Dane Erikstrup on there. I think these posters turned out great. How was it decided who ended up on the poster? I think this is a pretty prized spot that Dane ended up landing.
Yeah, I'm not really on social media too much, so I completely forgot about this until I showed up today. Our guys back in the fall, when we heard about this, we said, okay, whoever gets the most, I think it was rebounds, deflections, and we call them hard hat points, all the little dirty work stuff you got to do on defense. Whoever got the most hard hat points in over 2 weeks got to be on the cover of this 2K deal, and Dane ended up winning. And he's probably the one guy on our team that doesn't really play video games, so he's excited, but he's like, yeah, I mean, we'll see.
It's amazing how it works out that way. It comes his direction, and that is it's a great poster of Dane. Okay, these matchups, Santa Clara on Thursday. They're obviously coming off of one heck of a win. They went and beat Gonzaga this weekend. They scored 103 points, the most points Gonzaga has ever allowed at the Kennel. What's it going to be like taking on this St. Mary's squad that's long in the tooth? They've got familiarity with each other. This is an experienced team that has some mileage that they have together.
Yeah, they're playing really good basketball. Watching that Gonzaga game, and they were flying up and down the court. It was putting up 103 in the Kennels, not easy to do. And when I was at Eastern Washington 2 years ago, we played against Santa Clara. And it's dang near the same roster. I mean, it's crazy how many guys they've kept from a few years back, and that continuity is huge nowadays, where they're looking like a team. And so we got to do a good job of slowing them down. They won in the hundreds versus Gonzaga. They lost in the 50s versus LMU, and so they want to play in transition. They want to shoot a bunch of threes, and so we got to make sure we're playing our style and not letting them just run and gun and play.
Well, not only on Saturday will fans, the first 800 get a copy of this NBA 2K poster with Dane Erikstrup on it. This is one heck of a matchup. This is an opponent coming to town, St. Mary's. Anyone who knows college basketball knows all about St. Mary's. But here they are, the only undefeated team in conference play as of right now. The Cougs, of course, hoping to change that on Saturday. What makes this consistently impressive program having another outstanding season?
Another team that has a lot of continuity, a lot of guys that have played big games for him. Randy Bennett's a Hall of Fame coach, and he was coaching at St. Mary's when I was growing up in the Bay Area and trying to get recruited. And you watch their teams; they're disciplined. They do the right thing, Danny, every single time, and they're tough. They got those Australians that are physical, and it's going to be a great challenge for us.
And if you don't have your hands on those tickets yet, can't wait to see everyone out there to have that home court advantage at Beasley when the Cougs are hosting St. Mary's on Saturday. We'll take another time out here on the Cougar Basketball Hour. More with the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley. After this break, we're live from Zeppo's. It's the Cougar Basketball Hour from Learfield.
If you've been having your McDonald's sausage McMuffin with an iced coffee from somewhere else, now is a great time to reconsider.
In the Pacific Northwest, it's never too cold for an iced coffee in the morning. Grab yourself a medium caramel, French vanilla, or classic iced coffee for just $2.29. Warning, beverage may cause craving for McMuffin or hash browns. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
This is the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you. Because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. From the versatile RAV4 to the svelte Crown, the sleek Camry all-wheel drive, the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive, the rugged Tacoma, the tenacious Tundra, and the spacious Grand Highlander with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe. Hey, you bring the action, we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Welcome back to the show. Time now to look ahead at this week's game with the Coors Light Opponent Preview. Coors Light. Choose chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly.
Back with David Riley here at Zeppo's on the Cougar Basketball Hour. We are here at Zeppo's, our fantastic home of the Cougar Basketball Hour. We mentioned this before. Time to give this away. So for the audience here, we got a certificate good for up to 10 people on 2 lanes for 2 hours of bowling with shoes, 2 pizzas, and 10 bottomless cups for soda. So much great fun that can be had here at Zeppo's. Coach, do the honors if you don't mind. Grab one of our tickets here.
Last four. 3433.
We have a winner, so a very lucky winner who will
bowling
have
party.
Even more fun here at Zeppo's on tap. So congrats there. We'll make sure to get this certificate to them when the show wraps up. And now we got some time for some of our listener and audience questions. We've got Coug Cowboy 87 asking about the staff recruiting the Seattle area.
Yeah, I think that's something that we really want to recruit our home state, and I think that just kind of goes back to wanting to create ties in the community. I think that's something that, since I've been at Eastern Washington and really gotten in the business, is something I wanted to really do. And we got team camps in the summer where our guys come out to. We try to go out to Seattle and recruit a ton, and obviously there's a lot of good basketball out there. And I think that's, when you look at the success we had at Eastern Washington, it was a bunch of homegrown guys. It was, we had the Groves brothers, we had Venters, we had Bogdan Bliznik from over in Federal Way, and you can go down the list. And I think that was the kind of key to our success. And so that's something we want to do here. I think it helps to have a guy like Isaiah Watts that's starting it off for us. And I just think it comes from going to games, being in the community, having camps, and that's what we want to build that reputation here at Washington State.
Fantastic answer there. Another audience question we have, Cody Rogers. How do you balance giving the players rest and recovery time during the middle of the season while also trying to practice and improve with as much time as you have?
It's tough, especially these last few weeks when we've been banged up. It's you get nervous in practice every single time someone even bumps into each other. So we were shortening them up a little bit. I think it's important. You hear about these colleges not practicing much in the season, and you look at guys that just don't develop much throughout the year. So we really try to place an emphasis on getting shots up. We have our assistant coaches each have 3 or 4 guys that they're responsible for, and they really focus on that development. But you got to work. There's no secret to it. There's no shortcuts. You got to put the time in and practice, and just make sure they're getting in the ice baths. The last couple of weeks, the guys have gotten away from the ice baths. So we've been lucky enough. Coach Rogers let us into the football training room where they have the big ice baths. We have our whole team in there. Me and Pedro have both gotten in the last couple of weeks to try to encourage some more ice bath time. But we're just trying to have fun with it.
Leading by example there. And another question, Jennifer Delzer. What are the most important aspects of defensive success for this team?
I think just connectivity. Like when you look at our team, we've really gotten better throughout the year. And I think it's just kind of understanding that we got to rely on each other. And I think we focus a lot on individual defense and, the typical moving your feet and getting in a stance and all that. And that's great. But if you got a team of defenders and you got 4 guys behind you when you're guarding the ball, I think that leads to a lot more confidence.
We got the standings in front of us. I don't know for you, are you someone who ignores the standings, or it's kind of impossible to not see, okay, here's where the latest snapshot is on the conference race?
I've stopped looking at them.
Okay, I'll move my computer away this direction.
Yeah, I can look at it. And I just couldn't even tell you right now where we're at, who we're going against. I do know it's a heck of a league, and the top 3 or 4 teams are going to the NCAA tournament, and so we want to make sure we're in that spot.
And 2 important matchups this week at Santa Clara Thursday, home against St. Mary's Saturday. Coach, as always, appreciate the time. We'll talk to you next before that game Saturday.
Appreciate it. Go Cougs.
Again, not only a big thanks to David Riley, but all of our guests, and Okafor, Pedro Garcia, Rosado. Big thanks to Luke Hallett back in the studio. Here on the audio side, Jerry Kylo. On the video side, Jared Pringruber. I'm Chris King signing off. You've been tuned in to the Cougar Basketball Hour live from Zeppos from Learfield.